Hey there, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at Street Fighter, the miniatures game, once again. I've been having a lot of fun with this game, and so there's plenty to do with it. So I thought that today would be a good time for us to take a closer look at solo mode version 7. Now, this is the solo mode that I came up with pretty much a short time after I got the game. And I've just been tweaking the rules ever so slightly so that I keep refining it. So today we're going to have a match between Ryu and Ken, a very classic match. Some of you may be noticing the three-dimensional figures that I'm using here. So I'm using the map and then just showing off Vorpal Board, which is a really, really great software that allows you to combine elements that are virtual and elements that are physical so that you could play games with people online. It's been really helpful during the pandemic, and I've been having fun with it for recording videos as well. So today we'll be taking control of Ryu, and the AI will be controlling Ken. Over here, you see some of the things I'm able to do with Vorpal Board. I was able to scan in the character cards for Ken and Ryu. Along with that, I can create little toggles to keep track of the health and keep track of meter. So this larger one is going to be for health, the smaller one for meter. In addition, I just created a little playmat to help me keep all my cards straight. And you can see that here is Ryu's deck. And under it, you see 7 slots, and that's to display my hand. In this game, the maximum amount of cards you could have in your hand are 7. The moment that you would have more than that, you would have to discard down to 7. Over here, you're going to see that in the solo mode, what's different is that the deck for the AI is split into 2. The battle deck is going to be made up of 30 cards for most characters, and the defense deck will be 10 cards for most characters. What you'll see is that the cards that go into the defense deck are the ones that are bait cards that are used as parry cards in this game. And you will also see cards like character event cards that will be placed into this deck. Okay, there are 6 of those and 4 baits for a total of 10 cards. All right, now that we're all set up, let's see if we can start our first turn. So we're going to first figure out who's going to roll first, or who's going to go first, I should say. And Ryu will roll to see who goes first. And in this case, it's going to be a very good roll of 6. Okay, now Ken rolls. And here he only managed to roll 3. So that means then that Ryu is going to go first. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of line these up over here. So we'll put this one here, put this one here. Okay, so looking at the cards I have, I can now decide if I want to move or not. I think so. I think that because I have that Ken's Bandana card, I think I can get an extra action out of this. That'll allow me to draw a couple more cards and maybe do something more dramatic this turn. So I move 3, and then I'm going to play Ken's Bandana. It says draw 1 card and get +1 action this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. Okay, so I have 2 collarbone breakers and I have 2 quick Hadoukens. I'm going to use one of the actions to draw 2 cards. Now I can combo a Hadouken into a quick Hadouken, but here's the tricky thing with Ryu. Because there's so much knockback potential in his cards, where I currently am, I am within range of the Hadouken. I am at 3 range. But if I knock him back 1, I will be at 4 range, which means that I will not be able to follow up with the quick Hadouken. So what I can do is I could actually use my one of my actions for a move, and that's exactly what I will do. So I want to be here so that when I do that, I will still be in range. So Ken's bandana gave me one extra action. I used it for drawing 2 cards. I used my second action for moving a little bit more. And now I will use my third action to play a card here. All right. When I play it, I'm just going to play it in the center. Makes it easy to see what I'm doing. And let's see what he draws. So I'm playing it in medium mode right now. And what medium means is that he is going to draw 2 cards here to try to counterattack. So here's the first one, projectile, and here's the second one, special. So because one of them is a projectile, he does successfully counter. So he's going to place his somewhere adjacent, and then he's going to deal 2 damage. And now I have to discard this card. So it was not a good turn for me. I was able to build up my hand a bit. And you're going to see that on Ken's turn, he is going to try to play certain cards against me, but I'm looking pretty good because I have 2 bait cards, both of which can be used to parry. Now that it is Ken's turn, he's going to play a card face down. And he puts it at the center here, and I have to now decide what I'm going to do. Well, I have a parry card, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go ahead and try to parry this. We reveal it, and it's a special, so that means then that I was able to successfully parry it because I'm in the right range, and this will simply be placed over here. All right, and that means I will be gaining 2 meter. All right, and so now before I flip it over, I'm going to go ahead and try to parry it one more time, and we're going to see that Ken played a focus attack. So in this case, in order for it to be played as a focus attack, he would have to be already at 2 range. He is not, as you can see from here. He's at 1. And so what that means is that it will simply become assigned. So this goes here, and then he is going to try a different card. And it's a strike, so the strike will be parried, and now my meter goes up to 4. Now, at the end of the turn, if he did not have a card assigned to him, he would reveal the top card of his defense deck. And if it was a card not played as a reaction, he would assign that card. But currently, he already has one assigned. So we move on to my turn again. All right, so to start my turn, I will draw 2 cards. And I will move them, put them in one of these nifty slots. Okay, we have another bait/parry card, and also a hurricane kick. Still no great combo possibilities, and I love playing combos when I can. And now we're going to try a quick Hadouken. Okay, a quick Hadouken. It's going to be three dice because of the edge bonus at 3 range. All right, so we see what Ken has: a strike and a projectile. So another successful counter, unfortunately. Okay, and he places his adjacent. Okay, so far my attacks have not been very successful. Right now I have the choice to play another card, or I of course can also just draw two. And I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll simply draw two cards, looking for those combo opportunities that just are not presenting themselves right now. So since I do have yet another parry here, it's very rare that I would get all of these up front. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and play this after Ken plays a face down attack card. So we're going to go ahead and bring this over here. And I will go ahead and play mine. Let's see what happens. So good thing too, if I had just tried to block, I would not have been able to roll my dice. So you can see here, it is a hell wheel throw, and it is being parried. So now I am already at 6 meter. So I think I'm going to try to counter. So he plays this in the center. I'm going to try to counter with the special. And it's a strike. Okay, unfortunately, it is a strike. So you can see here, it is the thunder kick, and it's going to be 3 dice. So it's 2 fists. All right, back to Ryu's turn. He is going to draw 2 cards at the beginning. Okay, I now have a focus attack and the Dark Hadu. Let's start with my free move. I want to be able to knock him into that rock. Okay, now with my first action, I'm going to play the Quick Hadouken, and he's going to try to counter. Another projectile and a strike. So that's yet another successful counter. So now I am at 17. And the thing about it, of course, is that even though I know Ken's deck really well, and I know he only has 6 projectiles in his deck, he's already drawn 3 of them to successfully counter. So let's go ahead and discard this. All right, so I can now only play a couple of different cards. And of course, now that the projectile is out of the way, I'm pretty sure among the next 2 cards will not be a projectile. It'll probably be a special. So I'm going to try one of my collarbone breakers. He draws a special and a special. Okay, so I was correct about that one at least. So here the keyword is mix-up. So if he were blocking, he could reroll 1, or I could force him to reroll 1. All right, so let's zoom in there. We're rolling 3 dice. Okay, so I gained 2 meter. So now I am at 8. And I managed to do 1 damage. Okay, so now he draws a card face down. All right, I have not blocked yet. So I am going to block, but I'm going to use a defense card in order to boost my defense. Okay, and it is a Fierce Hadouken. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then 3. And he will roll first. Oh my goodness, 4 fists. And I rolled lots of meter, but 2 shield. All right, so I was able to block 2. Okay, so now because there is a blue linker and we're on medium, he draws the next two. And we look for a blue linker, and he does not have one, so we return both. Now I'll get to decide if I'm going to block or if I'm going to try to counter. So he's been pulling quite a bit of projectiles. I really don't think a projectile's coming. A special might be coming. I'm pretty low on cards, but I also don't want to go through all my block tokens. So I think I will block. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and block the second attack. Okay, and it's a hurricane kick. So in order for him to get to me, he has charge 2. He has to be able to move 1. So in order to do that, the rules say that he will get rid of one of these cards. And then he'll be able to move 1 and then charge. All right, and so now he will roll 2 dice because he did not move me with his charge. All right, and that is 3 fists, and I blocked. So I blocked 2, so it'll be 1. All right, so I take the 1 damage, and then of course there is a yellow linker. So he's going to look for another one. And sure enough, there's one right there. And we draw 2. So this one we'll just leave down here to be returned after. All right, and so now he will be able to move me. So now I will roll 4 dice for Ken. And it is 3 fists and a meter. And I get to roll 2 to block. 1 shield, so 2 more damage. And let's throw in a nice little taunt in there.
If you can't hit me, why bother attacking at all?
Okay, so since this has a yellow linker, he's going to draw another 2 cards and see if he can get yet another one. Okay, nothing here. And nothing here. All right, so we return those cards to the deck, and then we shuffle them. All right, so as you can see, Ryu isn't doing so well, so we're going to see if his fortunes can turn around a bit here. All right, so there's a little bit more damage evasion with another bait card, the last one of his deck, and the Wandering Warrior. So that's gonna be good for his defense turn, but we still don't have a lot of great options for the attack. We do have the Fierce Hadouken that can go into the Collarbone Breaker. Okay, so let's go ahead and try a little something here. Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Ultra. So we're going to get into the best range that we can. And in order to do that, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. This attack deals 1 additional damage for each space between Ryu and the defender, maximum 3. So it is going to be 5 attack dice. And he draws a card from here to see what happens, to see what he is working with. So he is going to be defending with boost dice. So we're rolling 5. We're getting 2 extra damage from the distance. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1 shield, so 6 damage. Okay, and there was no knockback there, so he does stay in that particular place. Since I am 3 spaces away, I think my best course of action is either a Hadouken or, sorry, a Fierce Hadouken or a Hurricane Kick. I want to save that Fierce Hadouken for a combo if possible. So I'm going to try the Hurricane Kick. Now, because he's already taken damage this turn from my Ultra, he isn't going to try to counter. Instead, he's going to draw from the defense deck. Now, he is outside of that 2 range that is required for the parry. So if he draws a parry card, instead it simply will block, right? If you look back at the wording for the alternate text for bait parry, it says, if not within 2 range, discard and block instead. And this is from the time that the card is revealed. So let's go ahead and see what he draws. Okay, sure enough, it is a bait card, so he is going to block instead. So the Hurricane Kick is charge 2, and then 2 dice. Since he blocked the Ultra, and he's blocking here, he is now down to 2 block tokens. Okay, so I roll my 2 dice. I roll 2 fists, and then he rolls his 2 defense. And he gains 2 meter. All right, so now it is going to be Ken's turn. So now that it is Ken's turn, he's going to draw a face down card. And I am going to try to parry this. Okay, now I'm going to reveal this card. All right, and since he doesn't quite have enough meter for it yet, he's going to use the free action portion in order to gain 2 meter. Okay, and so it is a projectile that can be played at 1 range. So this is parried, so I go up 2 meter. For his second attack, I am going to play Wandering Warrior. Okay, and it is a Hurricane Kick, and since it is an attack, it's cancelled, and I get to move Ryu up to 3 spaces. All right, so now it's my turn. I draw 2 cards. All right. Don't have a lot of attack options. I do have a focus attack. I think I will draw 2 cards. I'll stay put and see what other cards I draw. Okay, so since Ken has a lot of specials in his deck, I think that these are great for countering. I'm going to try a strike so that I can dash. And then we'll see what he's able to counter with. So the first card is a special. The second card is a special. So my strike goes through, and I roll 3. So I roll 3 fists, and he rolls no dice. Next, I'm going to try the shoulder throw, now that we're adjacent, and he is going to draw from this deck. and it's a bait. So he is simply going to parry the attack. On Ken's turn, he plays a face down card. I'm going to try to counter a special. Okay, it's a strike. So he is at the correct range for that. And it's 3 dice. So he is now at 8 meter. And he does 2 damage. He's going to try to combo. And neither of these cards work. So he will simply shuffle them back. Okay, and that does have the keyword poke. So it discards 3 cards from my deck. All right. And now he has enough meter to perform his ultra. So let's take a closer look at that. So it has a charge 3, and it says the defender takes 1 additional damage from collisions caused by this attack's charge. So based on his current positioning, unfortunately there will not be any extra collisions for him. Fortunately for me, but unfortunately for him. So he's charging 1, 2, 3. And it is 6 attack dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I am simply blocking. I did not mean to do that. The extra dice in there. So 5 damage. And he actually has the ability to make me re-roll because he has mix-up 2. So he's going to make me re-roll those 2. Okay, so I gain 1 meter, but I take 1 extra damage. All right, back to my turn. I draw 2. All right, so I will move here. And I will play a Fierce Hadouken. Actually, what I will play is Master's Teachings to draw 3 cards and discard 2. Okay, so I will discard 2. I will discard the Shoryuken, and I will discard the Hurricane Kick. So I will first try to play a quick Hadouken. Ken will try to counter. Special, and a super. So the super means that he is going to be blocking. So I will return these to his deck. Okay, so Ken is going to be blocking, so he regained 1 block token after performing his ultra, and now he is spending 1 block token, so he's back down to 2. Let's roll 2 dice. Okay, so this is only 1 fist and 1 meter. And then he gets to roll 2 to block. And he successfully blocks. So I whiffed. So that means this card that was assigned to him is now going to be used to inflict 2 damage. Next, I now have enough meter to perform my super. So he will be drawing from this deck. Okay, so he, for supers, you can only use boost dice to block, and he does have 2 boost dice here. So I will roll 4, he will roll 2. All right, so that's 4 damage. And 2 block, so 2 damage. And there is a knockback of 2, so he will be knocked back into that tree. I will try to counter with the Shoryuken. Okay, and indeed, it is a special. So he takes 2 damage, and I get to draw 1 card after placing my character adjacent. All right, and now Ken will try a second attack. I think I will counter because I only have 1 remaining block token. So I think it's going to be a strike. Okay, it's a super. So when it's a super, all I have to do is return this. Well, actually, you know what? He doesn't have any meter because he spent it all on his ultra. So he's going to use the free action. Okay, and we would draw 1 more card. And it is, in fact, a strike. So I correctly predicted the strike. So that means then that he is going to take 1 damage from a collision, and I will draw another card. Okay, and now at the end of his turn, since he no longer has a card assigned to him, he's going to draw 1 from here, and this will become assigned. My turn. I draw 2. I get an event and a leg blade kick. Okay, so what I will do first is I will move into position to better pull off a fierce Hadouken. Okay, and so I will try to pull off a combo involving fierce Hadouken. So it's technically face down, but of course Ken doesn't really require me to do it face down. So okay, so I'm playing my face down fierce Hadouken. Ken will try to counter. So he has a strike and a focus attack, so that means he is simply going to be blocking. Okay, so now because he is blocking, his tokens go down to 1. I roll 3 dice. And he rolls 2 to block. And so I whiffed. I whiffed. I'm going to try again. Okay, and because he drew a projectile in there, he counters it, and that does enough damage to defeat me. So, unfortunately, the name of the game here was counters, particularly projectile counters. He only had six. Ken only had six projectiles in his deck, and yet it seems that he was able to use every single one against me. I think it might have been either 4 to 5 different projectiles that he was able to use to counter me. All right, so hopefully that helped to make sense of how the solo rules work. Please feel free to leave any questions in the comment section, and I will try to address those as best as I can. Thanks for watching.